The first thing we'll talk about before we even get into the presentation or any F&I products is to really understand business, you have to understand people. So we're going to start there. We're going to talk about how the car business is flowing, how people look at the car business. We can go ahead and talk about that now. Like how they view you in the car business. Who here, but when they were, maybe not Colin, when you're 16 years old, was like, you know what, when I grow up, I'm going to get in the car business. No, right? It all found us some way, and I'm glad it did. I mean, you know, I didn't know any different. Now I have a great career. I stuck with it for 20 years. Take somebody like Pax, I know him personally. You know, they've done a great job taking these kids from college, train them, and then bring them in to do F&I, which at first we were like, could you not? Because that's a lot of training and everything else, but they come in and do a great job because they're motivated. It's good. It's a great business, but you have to understand people. So let's, you know, wrote this on the board, change your mind, change your world. This is where it begins. So first thing, let's just talk about who the people are. You know, you'll see a bunch of different classes where they'll go over different personalities and everything else. They all call them different things. I put them in 4 different categories. So the first person we'll talk about is the dominant personality. Okay, now when I say dominant personality, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What kind of person?
Leader.
Okay, leader's one.
Forceful.
What?
Forceful.
Forceful is another one.
Control the conversation. So.
Yeah, controlling the conversation.
Eye contact.
Always eye contact. What kind of answers do they like when they ask you a question?
Direct yes or no.
100%. Direct yes or no. If you try to beat around the bush with these people, you're going to lose them. Now here's a crazy thing. What color cars do they normally buy?
Red.
You say red. Red's not the color. Now they can. Like you can have a dominant personality buy a red car. So I'm going to use the 80% rule, and I'm going to talk about the franchise that does it. But black is one. What's the other one?
White.
Yeah, black or white. They usually do, and just so you know, at the end of the day, you can write. I teach a couple different ways. If you like to take notes as I talk, that's fine. I also have a whole book that I'm going to give you that has most of the stuff I go over. So it all depends on how you learn. Everybody learns a little different, right? They usually buy black or white cars. Now, what's funny about that, I want you to think about your franchises out there. What franchise carries about 70%, 70, 80% of their cars are black and white? Mercedes. That's their customer. That's who they're literally advertising to. It's a subtle thing. You may not realize it. These people usually like black or white cars. They're usually leaders. They, what kind of jobs do they normally do?
CEO.
Can be CEO, can be manager or something. They need to be in charge. Usually when they're in charge equals more money. Mercedes is more money than most cars, and therefore it's black or white. Kind of crazy when you start to see it that way. Now, give me another type of personality. If you know the name, you can name it. If you don't, you can describe the person.
Passive.
Okay. We'll do the passive is a good word. I call them paste. So this is the opposite of dominant.
Passive.
Okay. You say what?
Passive.
I don't know what you're looking for. May have a different, like, they're direct, they're more passive. So is that where you're going?
Yes.
Okay. So passive, paste. I think I have complacent. I think we keep changing the names. I have to update them to make them more politically correct all the time. So now I'll call it paste. Now these people are the people that make the world go round. It's very important to understand that. They, what kind of jobs they normally do?
Blue collar.
Yeah, it really is. Blue collar, postal workers. There is, and when I go over these personalities, there is not a good or bad personality, it just is. But you need to understand it, okay? Because it's all going to come together in a minute. They have blue collar jobs. They will do the job perfect if you tell them what to do. If you don't tell them what to do, they won't. When you're in F&I, these people, you could almost do more of assumptive closing. Okay, this is the package, it's all good, this is, it's great for you, here's what you get. Do that with them, it may not work as well. Now, what color cars do they buy?
Red, yellow, green, blue. Anything. Right. Anything you tell them.
Yeah, it's whatever you put them in.
Yeah.
Okay? Or,
I said silver.
yeah, it could be all of them. It's whatever they put them in. Okay, again, like to take direction. Now, when you look at somebody's credit app, okay, now I start thinking about this because it's coming together. It's got 2 personalities here. I look at the credit app, I see they're, manager at a company, salesperson says they beat them up to death, and they're coming back to you and they bought a black car, I know in my head, most likely dominant personality. And I want to maintain eye contact. When they ask me a question, I'm going to give them an answer to it. I'm not going to beat it around because they'll lose trust immediately if I do that. Okay? If I know this person got forced in that ugly car that had that giant bonus on it that nobody wanted, they just bought it and worked at the post office just going through that, I may do more of assumptive closing. Okay? Just in my head, I know that. Kind of describe another personality.
Aggressive.
Okay, aggressive can be actually any of them. A lot of times over here, I'll give one over here. Call it sociable. Now with sociable people, what I mean by that is obviously they like to talk a lot. Okay, so let's think, what kind of jobs do sociable people like or have?
Sales.
Sales, yeah, it should be good in sales. Yeah, a nurse, like when you get jobs like that, could be everybody, but the better ones are sociable. You don't want one that doesn't talk to you. What?
Just customer service related.
Customer service, bartender, musician, trainers. Got to be a little bit entertaining, right? Like to talk a lot. Typically, what color cars do they buy?
Right.
I would say red.
Yeah, you're both right. The bright colors. Look at me. Look at my car. It's loud, okay? They like to talk a lot. These are the people in your showroom that are talking to everybody. For me, depending on what personality is, these are my favorite customers because I can talk with them because my dominant personality is sociable and I cross back to here. So they have the cars. Now, what franchise, now there's a couple, but there's one mainly that advertises these people 100%. That's their customer base. Think about it. Their dealership looks like a bubblegum machine. Kia can be, Kia's a little bit because you get Kia now, it's kind of getting all personalities, but with the hamsters driving the cars and stuff, like the hamster driving the car, getting this guy. This guy's looking at it like it's crazy.
What about Subaru?
Subaru could be that too. Okay, but Subaru kind of gets, they're getting all the people, right?
Tesla.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with Don.
Yeah. Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Look at Volkswagen.
Oh,
It looks like a bubblegum machine. Like, I know they just got rid of the bug, but they literally had a bright colored car with a flower in it. Okay? Imagine a very direct CEO like, I'm here to buy your yellow bug with a flower in it. That's not gonna happen, right? But these will. They even, when they first brought that bug out, they had a special like midnight blue color, or forget what the blue was, but you pay like $5,000 more for it. It sold out in under an hour online because they wanted to have that color so they could even be more different. Okay. Now with these type of customers, here's a good thing with them. Most of our customers take advantage of this. Works well with the sociable crowd. It's important to know that sociable people want to be accepted. If you want to break a sociable person, you take me, put me in a presentation, you want to break me, just stare at me and talk and don't laugh at any joke. I will be dying inside. I'm like, oh, God, he doesn't like me, nothing's working. And like, Bob's seen it. I'm like, oh, okay, guess that one didn't go well. I'll just die inside. That's how you break them. But they want to be accepted. So when you're talking to them, most of our people like this. This person doesn't care what most other people do. Okay, it's important to understand this. And the last one is you're more analytical. These are the people that break most F&I managers and want to make them rip their hair out. Because what do they do when they're in F&I with you?
Read
Every form and question you on it. And then when you get these, it's funny because you get these customers with this type of person. Here's the answer. Well, what does this mean here? I don't know, but if you don't sign, you can't get the car. That's what the response, and it doesn't work well, okay? So analytical people, they read all the forms. Why are they reading everything? Yes. They do not trust anything that's coming out of your mouth. It's important to understand that. That's why they're reading everything. They're going to think you're going to rip them off. You said engineers. What other kind of jobs they do? Engineers, accountants. You want your accountant to be analytical. You don't want your accountant to have my personality or you'll get audited. Okay, you want a guy to be analytical. You'll see a lot of times in your store, sales department, office, accounting. Okay, and it breaks apart, and you'll see arguments. And we're going to explain why they happen. Now, what color cars do they buy? Silver and gray are one. Silver, gray. Why though? Why would an analytical person that's normally an accountant, that's trusting, they look at everything like it's there like almost a plus negative chart.
Because they already know the black is too hard to keep clean and white stays dirty too long.
Yeah.
100%. It's important to know because here's how their mind's working when you're not hearing it. And the more that you can understand how their brain's operating, the easier life is. It really is. And forget selling this stuff, it's just in general. It's easy. So here's their mind. Well, if I buy a black car, I gotta wash it once a week or it won't look right. And I can't have that. I can't have a dirty car because a lot of the analytical people too don't want to, they're like kind of more neat freaks, okay? But if I buy the gray car, I can wash it once a month, therefore save me, I don't know, 20 bucks a month times 72 months is X. That's how their brain's working, okay? To know that when you handle objections with them, the Ben Franklin closes are the best. And you gotta write the stuff down. Anything you can turn a computer screen and pull something up to show them, they'll believe. You pass the paper out, they won't, okay? They don't trust you, understand that. Now, what franchise advertises to those people? There's one that's about 70 to 80% of all the inventory is gonna be gray, silver, or beige. Honda gets them all. Like the big ones, Honda, Toyota, Ford, Chevy, you're gonna get all the personalities. But no, not as much, because they're going for a younger vibe now.
Lincoln?
Volvo. Look at Volvo. Look at the cars. That's their clientele. And it's important to understand that. That's the only dealership I wouldn't work in, just because my personality doesn't flow really well with them. And we were factory service contract for a long time through Easy Care for Volvo, and you saw it. You know, before they'd come in, now they got all the information on their phone and everything else, but they still bring in binders of all their information. They know more about the car than the person selling them the car. And they like to let them know that they know more about the car than the person selling the car.
I've seen
Right?
that a lot with Subaru too. Subaru people.
Mhm.
Loyal.
Mhm.
And they come in with their binders.
Yeah, you get a lot of,
They've owned it for 16 years. It's got 260,000 miles. It's worth $6,000 to them.
yeah.
They want to know what technology
Hand you the
Yeah,
binder.
everything's changed, okay? Car's 16 years old, everything's different. Now, if you want to go around and just add a person that's 100% of analytical, 100% dominant, 100% person sociable and paced, who are the people that think they're the smartest in the room? On these personalities. These two. The one doesn't care, this one's gonna, whatever. These people always think, and they'll let you know it too. So if we're in a dealership now just so you know, your personalities can cross. Like I'm more sociable over here and it changes and it depends on what the situation is. I'm on vacation, I'll go over, I'm here. So I don't wanna be bothered, right? The person that owns the majority of the company, he's more dominant personality, comes back here, we get along really well. If I was over here and he was over here, we'd fight all the time. Okay. What do pace people think about dominant people? Yeah, what's another word for that? Yes, thank you. Thank you, Maggie. We're getting a, sorry. Well, I didn't say it, Maggie said asshole. But what's happening is, they think these people are mean because they're direct. And I think they're an asshole. And here's what happens. You get a dominant sales manager on the tower. You have a pace salesperson. They bring information. Guy gives them a bunch of crap because they didn't do something right. Now, I'm usually Colin. Colin's a mean person. I'm not going to go to him. And then what starts happening is, oh, I'm sorry. Amy had, she had to go to a soccer game. I couldn't TO it. And you start getting those kind of things happening because of the personality breakdown here. Now, what does a dominant person think of a pace person?
Oh, they're weak, lazy.
They're weak. Yeah. Weak, no guts. So you have that going on. Now, what do analytical people think about sociable people? Annoying, yeah. Idiots. They're like, why are you saying what you're saying? Because it doesn't make any sense. I already got my answer and you're still talking. Dumb. What do sociable people think about analytical people? Uptight. Like, oh man, pull the stick out. You're like, why are you so tight? Like, loosen up a little bit. You see these now. Here's the crazy thing: you have all these type of customers coming in, and you sell them the same way. So just think about that for a minute. It's rhetorical. You're selling them the same way. They're all different. There's an issue with that. You have even more importantly, you have all these personalities in your dealership, and you try to manage them the same way. Can't. Because here's what happens. You take salespeople, right? Dominant person. Now, say all you guys came in here, I had all these personalities. I trained the road to the sale how to sell a car. What does dominant person do with that road to sell?
Make their own.
Jumps to the end, makes it, want to get there quick because they're impatient a lot of times. Social person a lot of times will over talk the close over and over and over. You'll see it and you're like, stop, you've already closed them, just shut up and walk away. Analytical person will change it. We'll go, you know what? That's not as good as I think. I'm going to add these steps because I'm smarter than you. They will do that. Okay? And then the pace person will go along with it, but you've got to tell them every day what to do. And if you manage them that way, best people ever. Okay? These will be your best salespeople ever if you can manage them the right way. Unmanaged, they're 5 to 7 cars a month. Managed, 15 to 20. Okay? These people here will get you the 30 to 40 cars once they really get it. But you have to understand how to manage, but you also have to understand, because part of your job as finance, if you haven't realized this, when you're in a big store, is you are also part therapist. Okay? Your salespeople come back, let me tell you about the sales manager, and they'll start, no, you're a sales manager, so you probably don't hear it. Let me tell you about Ashley, you know, and they'll start complaining, you're part of therapist, but you got to understand where the personalities are breaking down.